going to be quite a few more. It's a very large area and there's lots to explore. While I was there, I found quite a lot of different places. I definitely found some like abandoned barns and other things that I would love to go back and shoot. So that was really good. But this second part, I've really enjoyed, because I went to an area that I didn't even know existed in the UK with Redwood Trees, and not part of the UK's indigenous tree life. So as soon as I found it, I went. So for this whole segment of this film, you're going to see me chasing horses around and not particularly getting very good shots of them. A couple of them did turn out pretty good, but I've not used half of what I actually took when making this. And it turns out I wasn't in shot for a lot of it either, so that narrowed down a lot of my editing time. But regardless, it was good fun trying to get some photos of the horses. The one thing I will say I love about the New Forest is I'm not a massive lover. I'm not very confident around horses, I should say. But when walking around and being able to see them like this, where they're roaming through, is certainly much more enjoyable experience to watch. And I was behind a fence. So here I was chasing the horses through quite a thick bit of heath and hedgerow. The one time I wanted to get a photo, they had run, and I just couldn't get the shot that I wanted to get at that point. However, I did eventually get a couple of shots while from here. One of them turned out absolutely fabulous. The other one, not so much, but it was still an experience nonetheless. every time. Right. Coming here was a good adventure. One of my favourite looking trees, and this dates back to Star Wars, is the Redwood looking trees. I love them, and I never thought I'd ever see them really, because they're not indigenous to the UK. However, I came across these and shot this. Exploring these forests and these trees were good. It's definitely more my style of photography than what I previously did in the other video, which was portraiture. So I felt much more in my comfort zone, and I was definitely more aware of what I was shooting. Lighting was hit and miss. Unfortunately, it was quite heavily guarded by all the trees anyway, so that is what it is. But I think I got some really good shots from this bit. I then continued to just walk down the trails around this area, try and find some nice spots to do some other photos. Landscape wise, I was starting to struggle a little bit because it was just paths and trees. Wasn't really my suitable thing. I normally like a subject. However, I then went over and took one of these shots of this path, and I think it was quite nice. Go back to where I know where all the other big red trees are. Finish the rolls off there, and probably head home. Might do. Might load purple. Go the other way. I might not film any of that. It's a lot carrying everything all day. It's a shame. It's not in the sun. Hey, 250. Hey. 250. Strange looking pine cone thing over it.